Hi everyone. I wanted to walk through your speech number 1 assignment and show you some of the links and some of the resources that are available to you as you begin to think about what you want to write your speech on. And I want to first go into assignments, and you will see that there is a link, second link down, called Speech Assignments and Rubrics. And the 4 speeches that you will be presenting this summer term are linked within. Each speech has its own folder. So we're going to go to speech number 1, something that interests you. So in order to see the assignment details and the grading rubric, you are going to click the link or the attachment associated with this, and you will see some kind of document. It's in a doc form right now, pop up on your screen. And in this first speech, I'm asking you to introduce yourself to us, talking about something that you're interested in. And so that's a pretty broad category. You have revealed in your introduction some of the things that you enjoy doing, some of your hobbies and interests, and I'd like you to talk in a little bit more detail about those. So this first speech is a 3 to 6 minute speech. For all of the speeches that you present, I give you an over-under of 30 seconds, meaning that it can be 2.5 to 6.5 minutes long without penalty for the time, because time is something that I do grade. In almost all speaking situations, we are given a specific time limit, and so we need to be able to start working towards honing our writing and presentation skills to fit those time restraints. And this first speech is about you, so I'm not expecting you to do research. I'm not expecting you to go outside of your own brain to find out information on how to present this. And I want you to keep in mind that this is not a how-to speech. Your second speech that you present, the informative demonstration, is a speech that you will walk us through, showing us or teaching us how to do something. So don't confuse speech 1 and 2. Speech 1 should be you talking about something that you're interested in. So let's say I have an interest in reading, and I might then talk about some of the authors that I enjoy, some of the books that are my favorites. Maybe I'd start with a story about my mother reading to me as a child and having specific books that I enjoyed, and then what about reading draws me to it. So I'm not teaching you how to analyze a text. I'm not going over things like that. I'm just sharing with you my passion. So I've given you some examples: hobbies, activities, an author, a type of music, a place you've traveled, organization you've volunteered for, a business you've worked for, or something else that you have personal experience with. This is a chance for you to give us a little glimpse into who you are and what you enjoy and what is of interest to you. And it's a way for you to introduce yourself without having to give a lot of necessarily personal details that you might not necessarily want to share with everyone right away, but to share a passion that you have. So this is a 100-point speech. This will be the lowest point speech that you perform. The speeches will get progressively more points as you work in this term. And in the second page of this attachment, you will see the grading rubric. Each speech that I assign to you will have a grading rubric associated with it. So you will see that I am grading you both on the content of the speech, so intro, body, conclusion, and then I'm grading you on the presentation. So you are making good eye contact, you're not reading your script to us, you are not using a lot of distracting body gestures, you are easy to see, you're easy to hear, and you're picking good quality information that a college level audience would be interested in hearing about. So take a closer look at this particular assignment sheet and the rubric. I'm going to close out of that, and then I'm going to show you there's a sample student speech that I have here. And this is from a couple summers ago. I had a student named Taylor, and she chose to speak about her soccer experience. She was a soccer player throughout high school and wanted to share with us her experiences playing soccer, kind of what it taught her. She starts with the story. You will see here that I have given her some feedback on her draft. So the areas in red are me talking to her and giving her feedback on how to improve the draft a little bit. So this was a nicely done speech. It It met the time requirement. It included some narrative or stories. It helped us to learn a little bit more about Taylor. So take a look at that sample student speech for what I am looking for. The other thing to note is that for all of the speeches you do, you will be asked to put them together in an outline. So I'm still in the speech assignments and rubrics area. I'm going now to the speech outline templates folder. I'm going to click that. And you will see here a couple different outlines. For now, I want you to focus on the formal outline template. For every speech that you do, you will be, just like with writing an essay, there will be a rough draft. You give that rough draft to me on Blackboard. I give you some feedback, and you use it to perfect your speech. This, however, is not what you present your speech with. In this speech class, we are focusing on extemporaneous delivery, meaning that you are not reading, you are presenting in a conversational fashion, relying on minimal notes so that you ensure conversational delivery and good eye contact. When you read a speech, you tend to not look at your audience, and that is something that I want you to really focus on for this class, is connecting with your audience. For this first speech, that connection will be looking at your web camera, which can be kind of weird at first. You have this I have a webcam on my laptop. It's this little dark hole that I'm supposed to look at. It seems very unnatural and very weird to talk to a dark hole on my computer laptop, but that's where it's recording, and you need to make eye contact with it so that in your video, it comes across as though you are looking at your audience, because you will have other classmates and me watching your speeches via video. So in the formal outline that I have here on the screen, this is where you're going to write everything out. And I have it set up so that it includes all the required components of your speech. So you need to have an attention getter. It can be a story, it can be a set of questions, it can be an anecdote, it can be you asking your audience to get involved in some way, but you need to grab our attention. You need to then build some relevance or common ground. So you might say something like all of you, I'm a college student here at Western, and during this time of COVID, I have learned that I need to find new hobbies to occupy myself. A recent hobby that I discovered was cross stitch. And then you go into stating your thesis. You talk about why cross stitch has been something of interest to you. For each of the speeches that you do, you will have 2 to 3 main points because of the time limits of the speech. You should not have more than that. And then when you get to your conclusion, you do a lot of recapping of what you've said, reminding us of the main points, and maybe asking us for one final closing action, if you will, or sharing an experience with your audience. So I want you to be using this formal outline template to write the draft of your speech. And in it, you are writing everything out in sentences and paragraphs using proper grammar, proper punctuation, proper spelling. This is not a bulleted list. This is not your speaking notes. This is like a rough draft of an essay. So I want you to start using those templates to write your drafts. And I want you to start thinking about what your speech for your introductory speech on something that interests you will be about. Comb your brain for things that you enjoy doing, things that you think your audience would be interested in learning more about. But again, remember, this is not a how-to speech. You're not teaching us how to do it. You're just telling us why it's important to you, why it's of interest to you, and the ways in which it is. So hopefully that will help as you